Good afternoon.
Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home.
National Elections Commission.
Free Liberia.
Chairperson.
Land of liberty is our home.
Local and international.
Let us keep it standing. The one and only home that we have. Free Liberia.
Members of the full
Land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing.
Following the 14th.
The one and only home that we have. Free Liberia. Love is all we need to make it stand.
Madam Chairperson.
Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Free Liberia.
14 November 2023 presidential runoff election. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the 20 polling places previously quarantined, as was reported on 17 November 2023, have been reviewed, cleared, processed, and approved to form part of the consolidated report we shall read today. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, 4 polling places that were not quarantined but were part of the regular tally process in Grand Crew County were not ready at the time of reporting on 17 November 2023 due to retrieval from the field, but are now tallied 100%. In this connection, I now invite Commissioner Basili Okpangmai to read the presidential results for Grand Crew County.
Thank you, Chair. Progressive Tally Report Consolidated President, Vice President, County, Grand Crew. 110 polling places of the total of 110 polling places, 100%. Candidates. Boyka Joseph NUP, vote obtained 2,641, constituting 8.31%. We are George Manan CDC, vote obtained 29,143, constituting 91.69%. Valid vote 31,784, constituting 100%. Invalid vote 583. Total votes 32,367. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Basi, for that reading. Members of the press, the following are tallied results from the National Presidential Progressive Tally Report Consolidated, which I will now read. 5,889 polling places of a total of 5,890 polling places, constituting 99.98%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 814,428, constituting 50.64%. We are George Mane CDC, votes obtained 793,910, constituting 49.36%. Total valid votes 1,608,338, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes, 25,788. Total votes, 1,634,126. Those were the results of the National Presidential Progressive and Tally Report Consolidated that I've just read. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, on 17 November, we polling place in Liberia County would be conducted on 18 November, that is today. Hence, the outcome of that rerun in Electoral District 9, polling place number 4 at the Vami Elementary and Junior High School in Nimba County is yet to be known. Consequently, the results from this rerun will be announced on Monday, 20 November 2023 at the 4:30 p.m. press briefing. Similarly, on 20 November 2023, the National Elections Commission will announce the final results and the winner of the 14 November 2023 presidential runoff election at the headquarters of the commission on 9th Street in Cinco. Excuse me. And of course, this will be the consolidated report. The press, the stakeholders, and actors are invited to come to this press briefing. Please note, the results can be accessed at results.necliberia.org. I thank you and take your questions.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Members of the press, time to interact with the Board of Commissioners.
Good afternoon, Madam Commissioner. I'm John S. Farr II, and I report for Radio Maria, Liberia. Madam Commissioner, before I raise my concern, I would like to extend my thanks and appreciation to you and your entire team for what I consider to be patriotic and fearless job done for the Liberian people. I have these concerns. And one is the biometric voter registration card that we obtain as voters. We were told that this card were not going to be bold because it contains sensitive information. So I also want to know, is there an expiration date of this voter card, or is it perpetual that we'll always use it for every election? And next to this, I also want to know, believing that the National Elections Commission is open to work with every institution, and the biometric voter card contains sensitive information, likewise, the passport and also the national identification card also contains similar personal data. I want to know if the Commission has any plan in the near future to work with the Foreign Ministry Passport Session and that of the NIR, that is the National Identification Registry, to have a synchronized biometric system that we will not be able to spend thousands of dollars of taxpayer money on filtering the biodata whenever we conduct such process during elections. And the last concern, Madam Commissioner, I want to know, before you took on this job, how did you see the job? And after chairing your first general election, presidential election, how do you still see the job if tomorrow, based on your patriotism and fearlessness, you are nominated again after your turn to serve as chair of the commission.
The microphone working? Thank you for your question. Any job that I have undertaken, and this is a personal thing now because it's not a question to the board, is it?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Every job I have had, from the time I was in the 8th grade, working as a field person for census in Maryland County, I always have taken that job seriously. And one of the reasons is that, can you imagine, in the 8th grade, my first pay was $75 US. And coming from a poor background, that $75 US meant a lot for me. And not just me, because I wasn't the one who negotiated for that job. My mother, my late mother, heard that some people were coming to town from Monrovia and they were going to conduct a census. She went around and found someone in authority and said, my daughter will be coming to your gate for the test. And I wasn't the smartest. I took the test and I made 75%. And I got $75 US out of that 75%. And that money was able to buy a bag of rice, oil, milk, farina, and some other food. So as a child, working, for daily bread, for my home, for my mother and my siblings that were there, I really understood that any job that I have, I must put my attention to it. This is what I've done in all of the jobs I've had, and this one is no exception. Everything I do, I put my all in it. And I will tell you another story. My late father, when he came from, because he was a lawyer, when he came from work, he would sit me down at age 7, 8, 9, 10, and he would explain to me as if I were in the courthouse, as if I was an opponent. So the legal things would be going on between the two of us. But then he would say that I walked through the door and I could feel the sand under my feet in his shoe. Did you sweep there? And I would say, yes, I swept there. He said, go back, go sweep again. And you would sweep and he would come and he would test. If he still felt the sand, he would say, go back and sweep. And when you're young, you get mad, you vex. Why do I have to keep doing it repeatedly? But in my sojourn, in my job, I've learned that you must do anything to the best of your ability, even if it means you have to do it 3, 4 times to get it right. So that's my personal thing. So I take this job and all other jobs seriously. And if I were to be nominated, this job is a 10-year job, but it's also a job that you get political appointments. And it means that I have 4 more years to go. If it doesn't, if it's not recognized as we go along, David Brown will find another job because of my performance. And in many times, I will be sitting at home and I get called. And this is nothing to boast about, but I say again, I do everything within my power to do whatever is given me, how little it can be, to do it well. And the critical side of it, if you want to critique me, I still take the corrections, which are very important to improve and to move on. You talk about, now I talk plenty now, if I forget, I will ask you. If we are open to work with any institution with respect to synchronizing biometric, we have said this before, we are open to working with any and all institutions to further any goals with respect to synchronizing data in Liberia. But hold on. I would say part of the problem has been the National Elections Commission has a mandate to conduct elections. And that mandate gives us the authority to say which methods we'll use to conduct any elections. We have always said that if we are to join any other institutions, it is important that some documentation, written, not voicing, it is important. Because when it comes to the responsibility for actions in any collaboration with respect to biometric and synchronization, we should know who bears that responsibility. And so we say again, while we are open, there must be documentation against the fact that, or looking at the fact that we have a mandate already of what we are supposed to do. But collaboration is a good thing. And we want to do everything we can to ensure the cost is reduced while the information is available to as many functionaries of government as possible. You talk about biometric voter registration card, not punching the card, right?
Basically on the
The expiration.
expiration. Yeah.
Okay. At this point, we have not really put an expiration date on the card. And the reason is that, yes, this is our first time. The biometric voter ID card is a much better card. It appears to last for a number of years, including up to 5 years. And we will review the situation. You know, if there is a need that we revert to issuing, you know, other cards, we can still do it. In other words, I'm saying to you, nothing is cast in stone. We have procedures though, but this very aspect is not cast in stone. So, did I answer your question or not? From here to 2029, how many years?
6.
So we're planning as we go along. When we get there and we see the challenge, we'll make the determination. No need to be afraid.
Thank you.
Next question. We'll take 2 more, call it a day.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson and members of the Board of Commissioners. My name is Prince, and I report for Prime FM and Focus on Liberia TV. Let me say thanks to you personally. I see the strength in your voice today as you answer the question. Today seems to be like a
Days have been weak.
today seems to be like a stress-free day. All right. Let me say thanks to you and the Board of Commissioners for the engagement since October 11. It has actually been tense between you and the journalists.
Wow.
We have asked some critical questions, some of which you answered as per our wish, some of which you have answered the way you see it. That is the beauty of the journalism we do. Today I had just one question. My question is, Madam Chairperson, during the runoff election, I personally observed when the ballot boxes were being picked up from the various precinct, there were vehicles that were not marked with anything that represented the Elections Commission. That created some tensions between the citizens and the elections workers as well as the security. A specific case instead is in Totota County at the Upper Rune High School. When the counting process completed and the election workers were able to carry the ballot boxes, there was a pickup, but it was not marked with anything that represented the NDC, even though it had security presence, so the citizens stopped the ballot box from going in there. However, the police intervened, the police from Totota. Now my question is the NDC aware of that? Is that something that was sanctioned by you, or it was a mistake? And then what I'd like to know, how do we correct that for future elections? Because sometimes if the place is so tense, it may result to other violence. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also. I would say to you, if you have seen a vehicle that we were using that did not have a sticker, perhaps the person forgot to put the sticker on. because we did issue them. The problem that we noticed is that some Liberians are used to seeing the white pickups coming with the NEC logo on them. But we just got a few, and we need up to 250 vehicles to run our processes, including retrieval, deployment, and retrieval. So maybe the lesson learned there is that we should make sure that these rented vehicles are well identified so that they don't cause any citizens arrest, because now everybody wants to protect what is in the ballot, and we take that into consideration and advisement. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Aishin Lewa, and I report for KMTV. Well, on yesterday, we witnessed some staffs who actually work for NEC at the security booth, and they were like agitating over the issue of salary. So I want to know, as we canvass the entire process, what's the state of people who actually work for you and their benefits? Secondly, prior to you coming to this stage of announcing results, we witnessed the two political parties agitating about claiming victory unto themselves. And until the official announcement of results, you actually saw the ruling CDC, who at a certain point in time also claimed unto themselves victory, conceding and congratulating the opposition Unity Party. How does the NEC in fact see such a situation? And finally, it's most likely that the Unity Party Vice Standard Bearer, Senator Jeremiah Kuhn, will be leaving the Senate. How prepared is the NEC to conduct election in Nima County?
Normally, when there is a vacancy in the legislature, the National Elections Commission is informed about that vacancy, and then we prepare to conduct a by-election for that particular vacant seat. With respect to political parties and claiming victory and then conceding, how do we see it? We have nothing to see. And the reason why we have nothing to see is because the Elections Commission conducts elections, and we have just done that. So what candidates are there, with all due respect, we just want to make sure that whatever they do, they are within the law, and that there will be no violence, whatever they do, and that everybody moves on. And I think we all should applaud that. Applaud that we all are moving on. The process is near ending. As we just told you, on Monday, we'll give the final announcement, which will include the winner of the 2023 elections. Is there another one?
Of the issue of salary. There was a question I asked. No, the staff. Salary issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. There's another one. The issue of the payment of temporary staff is a problem that we had provided information on earlier. But we say we continue to make the corrections where they have been found some issues, with respect to what kind of information they provided and whether the information was correct at the time we receive it. Then there is a process. Once that payroll is ready, it gets sent to the bank. The bank carries on some verification, but then it sends it to the GSM company where they will pay the mobile money. At that point, the GSM company will have to do verification. And some of the problems, or one major problem too that we discovered, was that the mobile numbers that temporary staff give to us do not belong to them. They belong to other persons. And even up to now, we've heard that one of the banks must have paid almost $50,000 to people who have not worked for us. But we were giving those numbers It's like your auntie has a mobile phone, and you come to apply. Instead of using your own mobile phone number, you give us your auntie number. When they send that money, they send it to your auntie. And some of the problems there, if the auntie or uncle receives the money, in some cases they will not tell you that they received the money. Then you come back to us. Or if they receive the money, then you say that now your telephone number. So what I'm saying to you, we have to move away from being irresponsible. I'm sorry to use the word. When you come into a process and there's a criteria that you must bring your mobile number, and we ask repeatedly, is this number yours? And you say yes, only to find out that it belongs to somebody else. That kind of deception does not augur well for the kind of process. So probably now, maybe this will be a lesson learned and a recommendation. When you come and say your number is this, we will verify you first before we even allow you to enter our process. It's going to take some time, but we'll do it because the deception is too much. Thank you very much. And we'd like to announce that tomorrow there will be no... Last question? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Madam Chair, my name is Gerald, coordinator red for Front Page Africa newspaper. You talk about some reasons that led to the rerun in Nimba. We want to know what is the update in your investigation that you talk about? Who are responsible for these problems that led to the rerun? Have you gathered them? And secondly, I've been asking over and over about your budget for the runoff, and you promised that you are going to get to the people and then you will come inform the people. Since that time, you have come back to tell us. So for the budget for the real room, how much is it? Thank you.
I will say to you again, we receive a full amount of 53 million United States dollars, which came to us in Liberian as well as US dollars. And that money we use to conduct the election. We see it as a whole, not in part. Even though it appears to be two parts, but when you are budgeting, we budget it that way. Then the issue about, he talked about, anybody want to respond? If you remember what his issue is. He says, what happened in district number 4 in Nimba County? Number 9 polling place 4. Let me read that. We said the reason for the rerun was due to the number of valid votes, 379, exceeding the number of registered voters, 329, a difference of 50 votes. Following the investigation, it was revealed that 50 more votes were found in the ballot box, and it should not have been there. And it's because of that, it was necessary to have a rerun.
Yes, so my question was irregularities. And did you investigate who is responsible for that XX vote?
Of course, it was
what
the
happened?
PO.
And what happens to the PO?
The man ran away. Since we've been calling, even before after this was found out, since we have been calling him, the mobile number that he provided, that's not answered. But again, I don't have it here with me. I don't have his name with me. But we do have it in our database and his photo. So there is a follow-up to find him by way of our system, and then we'll quarantine him. That means he's not going to work for us again.
So have you alerted the security? Because
Which security now?
have you alerted the security to help you in investigating this to arrest him?
Okay, we'll do that, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Monday at 4:30 for the final announcement and the announcement of the winner. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah, man.